favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Second on the agenda is to approve the minutes, 3 different meetings. The first is 5/22/07. This is some research we had to do, that we still had some tapes to see if any information was there relative to a request. And also I had those typed. Need a motion, a second.
So motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. To approve the minutes of 6/5/07, again, the same thing. I need a motion and a second.
So motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
To approve the minutes of the 9/15/2015 minute.
So motion.
Second.
All right, change it up.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, who's first?
The A and R sign-offs. You can bring your plan up and put one down for Wally and one for Bob, and
Everything here. Sign-in sheets.
First thing,
Anybody here tonight sign in?
From our original survey that was back,
Okay.
done in 1987.
he
Got
just
any
wanted
extra
to.
pens?
This is, they thought the,
So what happened was, we're selling the
had a
house.
resurvey on that street.
That's
So
60,
we're selling the house that's already built. And
Landmark?
access
Salem
is
Street's
a
up here.
small strip here,
Come down,
and then
and you make the bend and you start up the hill.
You want to sign in?
Johnson's Pond.
it's
Ma'am?
the driveway.
Hello?
Salem Street.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I need your
For the
name.
back.
Name and address.
Take the left, go up the hill.
The real,
Like you're going to Johnson's Pond, yeah?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
where the cat house was and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
We have to show
No,
both
the opposite
Yeah.
way.
town, yeah.
The opposite way,
Yeah.
towards Washington Park?
No,
The cat house was the one on the corner of Washington, right?
No, the one on the top of the hill, the burnt down. I'm going 20 years.
this is right before you start to go up to the hill where
Up to the hill,
Davies,
Tower, it was on the right.
where Davies trailer burned with
were-
all the
yeah,
dogs
the
and,
Davies,
yeah.
Harold Davies. That's what-
Yeah,
Ooh, that was a cat house, huh?
well, real cats,
No, because I was animal control then.
So,
Okay,
I didn't even know about that. I had to deal with the farm.
okay. So where's,
so
where's
initially
that?
when we, what's that?
Where was that house, Tommy?
No, it would be up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
so this
Yeah,
one,
so right here is
so
the
Johnson's Pond is
access
that way.
road that would take you, no, it's up here. Johnson's Pond's up here. So this is the access road that would take you up to the top of the ski hill. Right, Salem Street, come off of
Mhm.
Salem Street down, go up, makes the bend, and you come up here. This would be, there's an access road that goes up to the top of the ski hill. Where the old reservoir used to be up on the top for Haley, and then that goes out to Johnson's.
He's not coming.
Oh, okay.
We just
Okay,
got
now I
one
know where you are.
talk about
Okay.
deadline and
Um,
that, and Scott's.
And the
It's
corrections.
just these,
There's, so, what happened was,
easy meetings, huh?
initially
All right,
when we
we're
had
just
the
talking about
land
these,
survey
so
in
next
1987,
up
the
is gonna be
surveyor had
Chester-
this,
Well, this guy and then Chester.
it was a big triangle lot, right?
Yeah.
And, when we surveyed it, we told them we didn't want any land in Haverhill. So the plan that we had initially just showed all this land in Groveland. And then my in-laws who live next
Says
door
he's
here
got this all bark mulch.
had their property
So
put into a
weeds
trust.
aren't gonna
And
grow
part of
and
that
stuff.
trust, they had to survey all the
5
property that
feet.
he owned. So this property goes all the way around and out over here.
That's how
When they did that, Appleton Land Survey surveyed this, and they actually showed this, see this dotted line here?
Yeah.
That's what they showed on their map, that we had land in the
I
city
don't
of
know if you
Haverhill
remember,
at that
but
time.
I,
So the buyer's title company saw the discrepancy in the two plans, and they asked us to get a survey done. So we had a survey done, and this is the true
pipe there.
Cable Groveland line,
There's a stream
Okay.
over
done by GPS, right? So it's, I think he's got some notes here on the map that shows, yeah, like right here,
Both
Master.
planning boards have to
And
sign
he's
it.
got some notes up here to say
Yeah.
that.
Haverhill.
that a plot
Yeah,
line
there's
is
more land in
this.
Haverhill now than there is in Groveland.
So
Quick help up the street.
we're just adjusting the lot, adjusting the lot lines to make it an accurate plan, so that
So
we
you
can.
didn't move anything?
Nope,
Okay. So it's just a lot line adjustment,
that's right.
and the property was built when?
1987 is when we subdivided this.
Okay.
How's it work? The Groveland signs it, then take it to
Yeah.
Haverhill?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I had dropped plans off to Haverhill this afternoon,
Huh.
and they have a meeting next
Haverhill
week.
only meets once a month. I can't imagine the people lined up.
I bet.
The only thing I
And
see
they
is that
think
it's
we're
missing
bad.
a couple of zoning things.
That's a
but
city.
The circle, the CBA calc and all that stuff, but did your engineer call on this?
Merrimack?
Yeah.
Steve Stupinski? Did
Yeah.
he call who?
He didn't call me, did
He's
he call you,
spoken,
Bob?
he's spoken to the city of Haverhill.
No, he called me, and I put him on the agenda, well, told him to come in for sign-offs.
Yeah, the lot line's easy, but he's missing all the stuff in Groveland, so what are you gonna do with it? Missing the CBA, the circle, and everything that's now, because when you record this, you're now going under current day zoning. So he's just gonna add some stuff to the plan.
Yeah. More of the land's in Haverhill than it is in Groveland.
Yeah.
All we
So
need
what
to.
are we talking about? 'Cause,
Where's the
I mean,
house?
The house is right here.
In Groveland.
It's in Groveland, yes.
Where was your house?
That's the one we're talking about,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, it's not your father's. No, okay.
But I would think,
I think he put something in here, it says it meets certain
Oh, I see.
criteria. You know, like
When was
minimum.
this originally
Yeah,
drawn?
a lot of
though?
it's grandfathered.
87.
87.
Yeah, see, that's the,
Were we doing a circle back then?
No,
no, but that's the
I
trick.
understand what you're saying, Wally, but
Yeah.
it's the same thing, it's no change whatsoever at all.
Yeah, so you gotta put the pre-existing non-conforming lots, if it's zoning, blah, blah, blah note, if you're gonna do that.
well, don't you have a copy of the old one,
The old
the
pen,
87 one? Don't you have
Well, we
something?
just
this one's
asked
been
that
updated.
question.
Same?
Yeah.
This one's gonna, yeah, it's no change. What you do is, like, typically when you do a plan like this, and you're updating it, this is now the new plan.
Right.
Right.
Forget the 87 plan, this one's in place. So everything you can show to comply with today's zoning, to show that you're up to speed, the topography, the circle, the CBA lots, and where it doesn't, you put a little note. And so it's pre-existing plan 1987 does not conform to section 303-5, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Okay, and usually the engineer calls, and we tell him all that stuff, so he puts it on the notes.
And we call you and then
Yeah.
update it, email it to you, whatever?
We gotta sign it, so is he around, is Steve around?
we have to
Not-
look at
not
the
now,
plan,
but-
Walter, before we can figure out exactly, so they're not running back and forth.
Yeah.
So it's best to look at it tonight, and then if there's things that gotta be added, we tell them, and that's it.
Didn't have the engineer call?
There's no way you could've done it
What do
over
what do
the
you
phone.
want on
You don't
this?
have
It
to
would be
resolve,
the quick
but I mean,
fix. My
The
understanding
quick
was.
fix is the
circle.
The circle for one, and then the notations of the pre-existing non-conforming lot in Rule 7, and the two laws, 303-5 is one. And then the other one where it's not gonna comply to, okay, so you just note it, that it's not gonna comply, because it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot to that date. But it doesn't have any notation on that like that. So are you selling anything?
Yeah, we're selling we're selling the house.
Yeah,
and-
so
This
it's
is
gonna,
like holding up 3 people,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
so it's
When
gonna
do you have
trigger,
to
how
go to
fast can you
Haverhill?
get it done?
I guess I could go back to them tomorrow and ask them to make the updates, whatever it is you guys are looking for.
Yeah, it's
I
really
mean,
quick, but I
Well-
wish you had called.
Here, why don't you write out what,
Want me to just put it down?
yeah, whatever you want on there, do it. Don't,
Should I just write it on the plan? I write it on
no,
the sheet?
no, write it on that, so if they have to do another plan, I mean, that can be done. If he wants to pen it in, he pens it in. Okay?
But I thought that's the whole purpose of an approval not required plan was, you
Yeah,
know,
approval not required under the subdivision control law,
okay?
but it's also
We're not
comply with.
subdividing any property, we're just fixing lot lines that were incorrect from 1987.
So it's a, right, so
So
it's
why
a,
does that have to comply with today's guidelines? If the plan was drawn in
It's-
87,
then you have to note it that it doesn't.
okay.
So you have to,
that's all it's missing is a note that says it
notation
doesn't.
or what can fit and what can't. There's only two things I see that are missing on this, okay?
Okay,
And it's easy a notation, the CBA circle.
What
CBA
is that?
That's the contiguous buildable area
Let's
circle.
print that right on.
That's what I'm doing it
the-
right now, but he's asking.
Walter,
Well, I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand, because.
print that right on the
we've been-
form,
We've been trying to get this
and
done.
let's sign it tonight.
Yeah, but
CBA circle.
you got a Mylar on all the others?
Yes, you got the
How you
money.
gonna,
Yeah,
how you
but-
gonna sign it though?
We're out of pens. This is it.
Um,
This is,
I have one, don't worry.
no, it's a certain type of pen you sign a Mylar with.
Oh,
We've been
We don't
doing it
have
with this type of
any?
pen Yeah, we don't have any more.
Well, I got one in my office.
Okay, fetch.
Government held up over a pen, that's bad.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'm sure that Steve can fax something over, or,
Well, he's gotta put it on the plan. He's actually gotta do a calculation, he's gotta do a circle, note the driveways, and then he's gotta put the pre-existing non-conformance to the, yeah, it's,
so when
He-
can we get this? Look,
well, that's what I'm saying, he should know this. Your engineer should know this. You
No,
paid him
I-
money
I-
to know that.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
I mean, but again, we're not changing anything, it's
Right.
just the lot lines were screwed up.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
if
there's
we
no-
put the
there's no-
notation on the plan, I mean, that should be enough. We don't need to do the
Yeah,
circle.
he's got, yeah, but the engineer's gotta do it, that's what I'm saying. He's gotta put it on the plan.
Well, if it's noted by Groveland, then we bring in a plan, you know what I
This is-
mean?
this is cut-
That we,
So frustrating, it's just so
well, I'm just
frustrating.
saying, if there's an easy way to do it,
Yeah,
Or
how
no.
fast
I'm
can you
trying
get
to
it out?
think of
That's what
that
we're trying to do.
now.
right?
Tomorrow I can get a plan, but the thing is, I need your signature on the plan, so I can move forward with selling the house, and I'm holding up two other people.
When did you
that have-
contact your engineer?
I contacted my
we've been-
engineer in early September to start this
Okay.
whole process.
And he should know this.
Well, I'm quite sure he does know this, but, you know, I don't know why he didn't put it on there. I mean, he's done survey, he's done work in Groveland over many years, subdivided a lot of property in Groveland.
That doesn't, he's got the license, he's the guy that should know. If he doesn't know, he's gotta
Okay.
call, the regs are
Can't find
saying.
it.
So, but,
So my question to the board is then, after he makes the changes, how do I go about getting the signatures on the Mylar?
get back in there. That's what
So
I'm
that
saying.
means,
Do we have, there
Get
is,
back in
can
here
we do
when?
like
I
an
mean-
emergency meeting, or,
Well, what's our next meeting?
20th.
yeah, we can't.
We
go
can
that
vote
long.
to sign, we can vote to sign it,
Out of a meeting,
yeah.
how fast can you get it done, just with those
I'll have a
corrections?
plan for you tomorrow. I'll have an updated plan for you tomorrow.
Then should fly a motion to sign the plan out of the meeting with the corrections on it, and then have Steve contact us.
Right, well, luckily Bob's in the office, I can be here, and Jim, you'll be around tomorrow, right?
You're right.
Yeah,
So
there's
three
your
of us
signature.
can sign it
Do
tomorrow.
you have your, and then do you have your Form A
What's the
application?
Where's the application? I didn't see an application online.
Steve's got it, it's in the book. Your engineer failed you, you need to go back to him and say, where's the, you need three
Wait a
copies.
second, I downloaded an application for the city of Haverhill, and I filled that out.
They're in the back of the subdivision rules book.
I looked on Groveland, and I called two of the board members and asked them what was required.
Just a Form A, it's a Form A application.
Where do you get the Form A
You wanna
application?
get it? I'll get
Town
one.
clerk's got it, do we have one in the
I
office?
can get one.
Okay,
Is it, where is it, behind on the?
if Steve had the red
Yeah,
book,
it's
they're
in
on
the
the back.
forms on the back of the subdivision book, you can
Yeah.
take a
This
copy
has
of it.
been-
Oh, I bet, it's
Just bring
frustrating.
two
That's why we
copies.
usually have the engineers call us before the meeting, and then we skate right through.
Well, he did call him.
To set up a meeting, but he didn't call up and say that what I need.
Right.
So, happens.
To me,
It's minor stuff, and I.
It is. It's just housekeeping
frustrating that you
items.
guys won't sign the plan, because it's, you know, the house was built in 1987.
we're not going
The
anywhere.
regulations that you're asking for today
Bill.
weren't in place in that time.
But
right,
you
in
weren't bringing,
1987.
you're bringing in a plan today.
All I'm bringing in plan is the same property, but readjusting the lot lines. I'm not changing anything on the property.
So then your engineer needs to say that. You paid him some serious money
He
to do
does say that on the plan.
Does he say pre-existing non-conformance with section 3035 and others? No, he just says the boundary line correction.
That's correct. And
Okay.
he puts something in there about saying that
Establish
the
using
purpose of this
GPS.
plan is to correct the city town bylaw. The plan is recorded in the book, right? They give you the
I see
plan.
it, yeah.
And closure area plan, blah, 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 and then it also says that it doesn't affect any of the zoning regulations or requirements.
No, it doesn't say that.
It,
So it's the closure on the plan to correct the city line. That's all it says. If you put that note on, that would be a helpful thing. He's got part of this stuff, but not all of it. But that's your engineer, that's not your
Yeah,
fault,
he's
that's
got
not our fault, and.
yeah, but it's frustrating because.
I agree with
Like I
you.
said, I'm holding up three different
So,
parties.
so you gotta get, so the board just is gonna vote to sign this thing out of a meeting. So if you can get this done
That's fine.
tomorrow.
I will get the changes
Yeah.
made. If that's what's required, I'll
Yeah,
call
we'll all
them,
meet here
let them know
tomorrow
what the
morning,
changes are and ask them to do the plans.
or whenever you call.
Well, best
let
thing
us
to
know
do is
you're
go
gonna-
in to see the town clerk, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 'cause
then
you
the
gotta come in
town
with the
clerk
Form
will
As, too.
call us
Okay.
and tell us the plan's here to
How
sign,
much is it gonna cost to
okay?
do this?
And
lot lines
both
are
I and
just,
Bob can come down here. And
lot lines
Bobby,
like $100, right?
sometimes he's here anyhow.
What's that?
Lot lines, the fee schedule,
Lot line change is $50, I believe, hold on.
that's 50.
Lot line adjustments, $50.
Okay,
So you need a check from me now?
A and R form for a filing is $500 per lot.
yeah.
But the house is already built, so
Right,
it's
so
just,
it's
just
just-
lot $50. So that's something you'll have to give me tomorrow too, is a,
You don't want it now?
I'll do it now.
okay, $50 check made out to the town of Groveland.
Did we vote to sign out?
I wanna make a motion to sign the A and R plan out of the meeting after changes are made to the plan. So in other words,
Right.
tomorrow when it comes in, we'll sign it,
So motion.
okay?
Okay.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay.
As soon as Bob comes in, we'll have a majority.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, 3-0. Done it.
Yeah, while you're here tonight, you might as well fill out the A and R form that Bob's getting to. That goes with a check.
Walter, how do you know all this stuff?
I wrote most of the regs.
Thanks a lot. There you go. Oh,
Plus, I've been
my.
here for 23 years.
Oh, really? Wish you called.
Usually they do. We've worked with Steve before, he knows. He knows better.
I don't understand. And he's very accurate. I mean, he doesn't miss a trick.
We haven't changed anything in about 10 years, really, so, almost 10 years.
What is it, $50?
Yes, I already got the check. Yeah.
Yeah,
So 3 of those Form As,
we voted to sign out a meeting.
Three?
Yeah.
I thought you
copies,
said,
3 copies.
I'll go
No,
pick
3
it up.
copies, the clerk can make.
One
Just
to-
fill one
I
out.
thought we said do two.
3, one for the clerk, one for us, one for the recording. You can just fill one out and have a copy 3.
Yeah, or we can copy it when we
You
get
know
home.
something, I'll just copy it and bring it when we
Yeah,
get the plans.
and just make sure she stamps all 3.
You meant one in case you make a mistake.
That'll work too.
All right, gentlemen, thank you.
All right,
Thanks.
So did you vote?
see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
This won't take
yeah.
long, right? It'll just be
Yeah,
I
tomorrow.
wanted to
Yeah.
wait,
You should
but
be able to do
the
that
three
in
of us voted it.
20 minutes.
You wanted to what?
And I'm
Wait
sure
for you to
it's
get back.
just-
Oh,
I mean, he'll
Literally.
make the changes, it's just now, finding the time to get back here is,
Well, we don't have to, because I can come in.
well,
Yeah.
I have to go get the plan from him anyways. I
Bob
have
will
to
pick
get
it
all
up.
them, 24 different copies now. And,
No, all we need is a Mylar,
yeah,
one copy,
Okay.
that's it. And then when you record it, we get the 6 certified.
Right, that's what I was telling you.
Yeah. Mylar, one copy.
after
So
you record it, yeah.
But I just dropped off 11 plans of the city of Haverhill too, so.
Well,
We're gonna need our
see, Havel's
signatures
different.
anyway, so that's good for, when you go to Haverhill, they'll see we're signed off and double skate.
But I don't think it's the same for Havel, they will make a difference.
They probably don't care where the house is in
Really? It doesn't
where
really
the
matter.
house is
Yeah,
in
the land,
Groveland.
it's the house that really.
It's the house that
affects it.
dictates it.
No, okay.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. What do you got?
I'm putting an addition on my house, 15 by 17.
Building
Bathroom,
permit?
Master bedroom, bathroom. I just need
Sign off.
sign off.
Okay, you got a.
Are you on sewer or not?
I have one. What's that?
Are you on sewer,
Town water.
town water? And so you got a septic
7
system?
Baldwin Terrace.
You got a
Yeah,
septic
he's on
system?
sewer now.
No.
Okay, we asked you sewer. You said water.
I'm sorry, town water. and
Okay,
sewer.
okay,
You are on sewer,
Yes.
okay.
there's a difference. If
That-
it's
right,
septic,
I
I
agree.
mean,
You
it's
can't
gonna be
add a
very
bedroom
different.
if you're on a septic
Yeah.
system without the board of health
Right,
approval.
right.
Okay,
I'm on-
all right, any sort of plan of the land at all, or?
I have, you don't need the elevations. I get the.
Where's the front? How far? 30 feet from the front?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and this is going to be here, you're still 33 feet away, okay?
What's the address again?
Yeah, what's the address?
7 Baldwin Terrace?
Yeah,
Seven
that's
Baldwin.
side lot 933.
And your name is?
Stephen, with a PH.
All right.
Crow, C-R-O-W-E.
Si-
C-R-O-W-E.
What's the purpose of the addition?
Do you meet the
Seven
setbacks?
It's another bedroom with a bath.
So how many
One-
bathrooms?
How many bathrooms are gonna be total?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So you're building an extension off the house?
Yes, the left side of the house, yep.
What's the setbacks?
Setback is 30 feet off the street,
Yeah,
and then it's,
15 on either
yeah,
side and
like-
10 in the back?
It's got 33 and 25 and
Yeah, and I got
120.
plenty in the back. I got-
Okay, all
I
right.
got a ton of room.
It's only a 21,000 square foot lot? Yeah, I suppose it's like, what's that,
That's 60s.
can I see that subdivision? lot?
This,
Yeah. Show me where this is, right here, you circle it
Yep.
in? Okay.
you're doing a full cellar too?
Yes.
Yeah, you're doing a drain around there, cause that soil up there is
What-
not that great.
Have you always owned
Yeah.
that?
What's that?
Have you always owned that?
No, 2010, I bought it.
What was there before? Or who owned it before?
Bob and Don, oh geez, should know it.
Well,
Wicked.
these are all undersized lots that were
Yeah,
built
no,
in the
it's-
60s.
It's fine, I was just looking at it, just to
Yeah.
wonder who was the next.
But you're coating the, outside walls, you're coating the walls with waterproof and everything, and drain stone and stuff around the foundation?
New one here,
Sorry,
Greg.
couldn't hear you.
Are you coating the outside walls for
The waterproof
waterproofing and then the stone?
stone, yeah, around it for
Okay.
drainage, yeah.
You all set with it? I'll sign it.
This is a workman's comp one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the new one now. Yeah, no, it's good.
All right, where?
Any word on the,
I think they-
flip side, the side? I think you just got it. I was surprised, it's gonna be a print on double sides. Did we motion that?
Okay, we will.
Do you need the border house?
Yeah, well,
I don't, well, according to the building inspector, I don't need the board of health. I hope not, 'cause I wanna get
No,
this thing going.
I can sign it, if it is, I'm the chairman of the
Can you
board.
sign anyway? Just in case.
make a motion to sign off
So motion,
and
7 Baldwin, is it?
building permit to sign off. Okay, okay. Second,
Second?
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Done.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Can you,
Okay.
when you're done with all the signatures, can you just throw a completed copy in the board box?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
You want just completed copy of the whole application?
Yeah, just
The whole
throw a
thing?
copy, click.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Good luck.
Thanks.
What's next?
This is, next up is Chesterton to sign the
Memorandum with the
yeah,
changes?
memorandum, yeah, with the changes. Okay. Okay, the motion would be to sign a MOD.
Memorandum of decision, yep.
um, with changes.
So motion.
Second,
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Well,
disappeared.
I've got one more thing to talk about this too. He's on another page here.
Yeah,
Let's see.
minutes are with it. I mean, the, agenda.
Yeah, so, yeah. You got a pen? I got blue.
Yeah.
Oh, but I got
Um,
black.
The agenda, you just gave it away.
Oh. Yeah. On Chestnuts, I just wanted to bring up that originally, the estimated bill to do the MOD was $1,250. And with the subsequent changes, modifications we had to do, I got another bill for $890. So we're gonna have to ask Chestnuts to cut another check to put it in there to pay for the adjustments.
Okay.
on that. This finalizes everything on the site plan review. All Chestnuts on.
Where's the 2,100 for this? Total of these two is 2,100.
Okay.
Okay.
Should,
What else?
should we sign any more of those? You wanna keep on file?
I'm
or-
gonna,
Make
make
a copy of
copies.
that, okay.
Yeah, I'll make copies of that tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm gonna come down and make copies of a few other things too, and then give the town clerk some things as well.
Okay.
So next up was gonna be Scott Green of,
All right, let me fill you in on Scott Green. I gave him a call today to remind him about the meeting. He couldn't get in touch with his engineer. They're bringing in the plans to be signed that we approved. And he couldn't, he had a conflicting meeting in another town. So he wants to get on the agenda for the 20th. I told Alan, Camet Engineering, he didn't have to come tonight because of that, so that we don't have to pay him. And we need to, through recommendations from Alan, we've gotta get him in here to sign those before he does any more work out there. He hasn't done anything this week or last week. He's tied into Salem Street with a water pipe. We ran one or two pipes in. He's put the catch basin structures in and the piping. He hasn't tied in yet to the loop for the water main. He said that he just got a couple of PNSs for selling the house lots. The bank is what's been holding him up. So now the bank has the PNSs and the money they're gonna start releasing so that he can get all the infrastructure bought, everything, and put it down, so. He's gonna be pressed to get things done before the winter. But we'll have to, we need to talk about a shut-off date for him and also Crabcheck, who I just gave you a new time schedule frame. They're starting this week and they wanna put the binder down at Crabcheck's on November 30th, which is gonna be close to if we get snow or if it's not 50 degrees minimum, we can't let them hot top or anything or backfill chunks of frozen stuff, so.
You want December 1? What do you want to do?
What was that?
December 1? Because the crop check said November 30, right? Want to keep them both the same?
The hot top plants, when the first snow comes, they shut down. And depending on the temperature too, so we'll have to play it by ear. Until Crabcheck opens up the street going in and I see what the material is, that hill is famous for a high water table and pumping clay. So I won't know, and this will throw the timetable right out the window if it is. So until we open that up and I see it, then we'll know, but, we should have a cutoff date or stipulations of what mandates a cutoff date.
Yeah.
on both of those, but we definitely, on Scott Green, we gotta get those plans signed before he does any more work, so we probably should vote to give him a deadline. He's gotta be in here with those plans on the 20th, period.
Okay, if we sign them on October 20, and we're shutting them down December 1, that's not a whole lot of time.
No, but his
No.
land up there is all sand,
Yeah.
so there's not much problem there for what he needs to do. He doesn't plan on hot topping at all this year, so.
Okay, so he's good,
It's
so,
crab check we gotta make sure of.
well, why does Crabcheck wanna pay?
Cause he's pushing to get the time frame in, he's building what, the 2 houses, and the access road in is narrow as it is, so he wants to get that done up to at least, well, he's saying binder.
So what's our date, December 1 or when the snow flies, or are we going beyond that?
No, I wouldn't go beyond it, would you, Bud?
Bob?
Well, no, that depends on the weather too,
Yeah,
you know?
so you wanna go December 1 hard date or sooner, depending on the snow?
Yeah, I
Well,
would
you
go-
say 12/1,
Yeah.
or
Well,
for
stick with
snow.
12/1, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
and it might be good, you know, sometimes 2 weeks into December's still nice.
yeah, last year was good till
Yeah,
February.
Till
Nature woke up
February.
on us.
no, it is nice. The first 2 weeks of December, usually, like Bob was saying, usually the hot top plants are done December 15th about. I mean, for really done.
Okay, so that works,
But-
gives us a little time.
But then sometimes, like the year before last, they went early.
Well, we're at a tentative date stop is December 1st.
Sure. Okay, so that's done.
He
Just
can-
to give him a heads up.
Yeah, he can monitor
What's
it.
next on there?
Blank.
You can monitor it.
Alright,
Yeah, no. Jim, you wanted to talk
Oh,
about the,
yeah.
housing,
Well, the
Bylaw.
zoning bylaw, Jonathan Eichman called me, and,
the new one?
yeah, on the new one, and he found, they're trying to get something for town meeting. What they wanna do is they wanna take everything we have and put it into a format. But the real problem is becoming that there are some things that the zoning board has to have, and I've been trying to push that in on them.
Yeah.
And it's not, it doesn't affect us so much, it's more them. So all the things that they wanted, I'm trying to get him to understand, you know, that that's what really needs to go in there. In his discussions with me in the past, in the present, and I agree with him because I know I've gone through this. When you make a major change, okay, a reformat, you wanna kinda stick to everything that you have, unless it's something you absolutely have to have. Because if you go into a town meeting with too many changes into a new bylaw, it gets to the thumbs down situation.
I think we were gonna, in the look back, we were gonna do it one section a meeting or something, and then do the emergency stuff first, so I think we're following that.
Well, it depends, you know, is this thing on?
Yeah.
You know, at this point, we haven't said, okay, we're gonna do this and this, or this and this and this, okay? It's just simply he wants a reformat. But one of the things he came up on was this section 109, growth management. And, basically, when Lisa Mead updated our, new town zoning bylaw, okay, she put into 103.1, it's 1032. It was in 109.2. And what we had done, our last amendment to this thing, okay, this is extending, this, growth management bylaw is amended in 2001.
Yeah.
We first passed it in 1996, and the drop dead date was June 30th, 2003. That was the amendment.
Yeah, but then we extended that.
Well, I don't know, when did we extend it?
We extended it at town meeting to go in an extended out without a drop dead date for the, when the master plan was completed and accepted by the town, so it ran with it.
Well, we gotta find that, because I can tell you right now, okay, the last bylaw that we gave Lisa Mead has this drop dead date of '03.
Did that matter in the
Well,
current
it
day?
does, because what she further wrote into this thing is the words, "And in no event shall this bylaw be extended beyond June 30th, 2010, at which time this section, 1030, this is the entire section,
Yeah.
shall be deemed extinguished."
So this is the draft from Lisa?
This is the draft from Lisa.
Okay. So what happened is, if memory serves me right, was during this time frame, we were also going hand in hand with the master plan, and we were going section by section, and then we had so many years where the Board of Selectmen, the funding wasn't there, and then we went out for the, affordable housing, which we got the state grant, okay, on that one there, and that completed that section, and then we completed the master plan, and that was supposed to be accepted at town meeting, and once that was accepted with the including section of the, affordable housing, then this was gonna drop, because then we had a total plan.
Walter, do you know that the state law says that you cannot prolong a master plan forever, like we've been doing? It is against the law.
We didn't do
So
that.
I'm all for letting it drop the way it should have been
Well, what's
dropped
the-
years ago.
What's the question, because if it's.
Well, what Jonathan is saying to me, he's, did you know this? That Lisa had made this change in here?
Yeah.
And I had to be honest with him. I said, no, I probably didn't read every word,
Uh-huh,
okay? And, but I have put through similar things in bylaws back in the '70s, and they had drop dead dates. And, it literally had to go out of the bylaw.
yeah,
You can't hold on to the language no matter what, even if you've got a drop dead date of, 2010 per her. So it has to fall out of the bylaw at this
Uh-huh.
point, and that's what Jonathan is saying to me.
so pull it
You-
out,
Huh?
pull it out.
Okay, that's what we're
It's
gonna
in-
do.
Its intent was only to be there on a date until the master plan was extended, and beyond this board, we completed it. We submitted it, it just never made it to the town meeting floor, had nothing to do with this board. We spent years and years on that. Jim, you and I spent 7 years on that zoning.
I know,
So-
and it's like, if nothing gets done, and it just continues not
Right.
to get done, what piles up is more and more and more problems. They
Yeah.
wonder, this Board of Selectmen wonders why we have problems. We have problems because nobody's doing anything. If they wanna block us from taking this thing forward, well, expect more problems.
No,
And,
I
and
think
they've
the
got to
only-
begin to understand and rationalize what's going on, what
The
they're
only,
doing.
the only thing you could add to that, and it's a draft, so it really doesn't matter, but if you really wanted to correct the language, you could put its intent in, and its intent was only there for, until the acceptance of the master plan, a drop dead date or master plan acceptance, whichever came sooner. And that's what it was for. It was, had no intentions of ever permanently extending a growth management bylaw, for the town of Groveland.
The other thing too, right now is, the limit on this thing is 36 houses a year. I mean, we went into a 6-year funk from '08 to 2013. We started to come back a little bit in '14, a little bit more maybe now in '15. But even though interest rates are low, what's really happened is price of houses are going right back to where they were. And I think this stymies a lot of people from being able to buy houses. And number one. Number two, it's a lot of the banks, they don't want to carry 4% mortgages. They want the 6% mortgages is what they want. And it's a big question in my mind, when the boom once again comes. Because I think a lot of the factors that normally promulgate that, okay, change. And it's not happening. I'm not saying it isn't gonna happen, because if you look at it, You go through 20-year spans, you will see the boom from 48 to 68, you know, housing just kept growing. When you went from 68, and this area, this New England area, all the way to almost 88, it was pretty well, you know, going straight south at that point. You had some building going on, but it was nowhere near what you had seen in the previous 20 years. Then you went into the 90s and into up to 2008, and it came right back. It was mirroring the same thing you saw 48 to 68. I mean, you go through this. That industry is one of the hardest in the world to play with in the stock market. It's like when it's doing terrible, buy the stocks. And it's when it's going through the roof, it's like you better get out. It's one of those because it's not something that is just straightforward. It isn't.
Well,
So-
again, just the growth management bylaws, since that's the only thing that I think that we're focusing on.
I think we're still in that funky period of time where I don't think you're gonna see a lot of building. I just don't see it.
Right, but the growth management bylaw was written as a piece.
Yes, I understand
It's
that.
only as intent, until the master plan, which was last written in 1963, which the state later said it was a good attempt, but as we know from this board, we got hit with this, it's supposed to be updated every 5 years. So we had to reinvent a master plan process and budgeting over years and complete the process only to have it sit idle and wasn't accepted at town meeting. So that had to be updated and resold to town meeting process to actually get through. And I'm not sure where that is at this point, because it's out of our hands. However, the growth management bylaw was only put in place until that master plan was accepted, because elements of the master plan took a look at all the areas of land and the building and the affordable housing, as you know, in the town, so we knew where the subdivisions were gonna come in and what land open space wanted to have to grab onto, or the town of Groveland for future growth. And now that that's been complete, at least in the planning stage, now it just has to be accepted at town meeting, and that language is no longer necessary.
Right, so
and then-
this is gonna fall out, so everybody on this board is understanding at this point. I'm going back to Jonathan Eichman, I'm gonna say, okay, yank it.
Let it
Yeah.
fall out.
Either yank it or explain it.
That's,
That's it.
my thing tonight is to let you know what's happened, that's all.
Okay.
But this, while we're on the subject, I mean, the whole master plan at this point, I mean, the former member that we did have that was working on it did tell me at times she was having problems with other boards in this town, you know, doing their part with it and responding and everything. I don't know how you're ever gonna get that document written at this point. I really don't know how.
Well, it's the basics of it, actually, more than basics. We spent a lot of time, years, and a lot of money on that. And the only thing that was necessary is for each board and each department in the town to update its year and 5-year forecast to be inserted into that living document and then get it to town meeting. Because all the maps are done, all the new laws are in place. This is an element of it, but not necessarily, okay? And a lot of the things that we planned out in the master plan 10 years ago have been completed. You know, Washington Park, right here, Town Hall Complex, et cetera. So every board from Parks and Rec to the fire department, police department, and everything else just needs to update their 1-year and 5-year plan. It gets inserted, and then it goes to town meeting. Everything else is done. And the board of selectmen are.
But the updates aren't getting done, that's all there is. So, I mean, we're down to 4 members at this point. We don't have anybody working on it, and quite frankly, I mean, the time I'm putting in, I know Bob puts a lot of time in, you would put a lot of time in over the years. It's how far do you bend us at this point?
What-
One
maybe
of
we should
one
just
of
send
the
an update.
One of the things I'm gonna put in to the budget this year, I can't say I'm gonna get it or not, but is for a town planner. And it's only gonna be 20 hours, but there's another board that's thinking of doing a similar thing of a need for to help them. It may end up that, you know, we share a person. And that
We submitted this
person,
a bunch.
that would be one of the jobs that that person would do.
Yeah,
And, the same with the zoning bylaw, okay, to keep that thing up to date. I mean, we do have, I think, a fantastic, building inspector now, and there's no question that, he's gonna point out what his needs are. He already has, and that's another thing tonight I wanted to bring up was, 108, which is, he'd asked me if we could hit a special town meeting, and, that we just couldn't get it together fast enough. We were cut off, but had to be in by the 30th of September, that's come and gone. The advertising alone, we would've made it.
okay.
But that part basically dealt with site plan review. And
Yeah,
the
we went
problem
over
with
that.
site plan review is simply that the way it's worded means everything. Well, we didn't intend to do that. But what I'd like to ask the board to do, for me to do, is to be able to send a letter to the building inspector.
Can we rewrite this, Pat?
And to well, it's new in the new bylaw.
Yeah.
Brand new, but that hasn't been passed again. It's one of these things being held up. And what that would do, would go to the building inspector, basically telling them, all you gotta worry about is something that's brand new, more than likely industrial or, business. A shopping center, a complex type thing, like we just did, Chesterton. Okay, or SD, yard and everything, those types of things. That's what site plan should be, not houses.
Well, we're modifying an existing bylaw.
We have a subdivision control law to do houses with,
Um,
so we don't need to do site plan work on A&Rs or anything like that, or an existing
But
house line.
a section of the zoning law, 108, to eliminate and then replace is a quick.
But again, we couldn't get it done fast enough. You have to advertise that, okay, twice?
When's the next special meeting? Is that one coming up?
Oh, no.
So we're looking at the spring. Okay.
One other question while we, on a different subject. The elderly gentleman that's been doing putting away the plans and everything for us, he's got, what, 54 hours, you said?
4 hours.
That comes out of their tax, money,
Yeah.
does it? Okay, so we don't have to budget that.
No, they get it on.
Okay, good,
It's a great
good.
deal
That's
for
what
the
I
seniors.
thought, yeah.
Any other seniors
Yeah.
wanna come on down?
And the other thing I wanted to bring up, Jim's not gonna be here on the 20th, which is a hearing date for off SD Way. Are you going to be here for sure? Because we need a quorum, and where there's only 4 of us, is that gonna create a problem with Jim not being here? Do we need a, super,
Super majority?
yeah,
At the moment, I'm here, so.
all right, so notify me if you get an emergency call, we'll have to continue it without. All right, yeah.
So is the board okay with me writing a simple note to the building inspector to simply tell him,
Yeah.
disregard the way the present bylaw is written, and it interpret it to mean what it should be saying? And
Yeah.
What section?
It's 108.
Oh, 108, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have
okay.
them start initially
I,
going by.
I'm against that. That leaves an interpretation of one person to change what the bylaw is. I'd say stick to the bylaw until we do change it.
What about the 108, the section that we rewrote, what was that, 3 months ago? That this board approved, with that new checklist procedure?
It was written back in '07.
Well, no, I mean the new one that we just changed.
We didn't change that at all.
You guys came in with a new,
We didn't get to be, we weren't able to put it into the town meeting.
right, but the board approved it, that multi-page checklist. We approved it, this board did. Now it's gotta go to town meeting with the hearings and all that stuff for the section. But we already have a full outline of what 108's gonna look like.
Well, we know what it's gonna look like, but the problem before the building inspector today, and the zoning board of appeals at the same time.
Right.
Okay, is the understanding that it means everything,
I get that.
okay?
The new section 108.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a copy of it?
Don't have it right here.
Okay, so the new section 108, at the moment, is a non-enforceable section. However, it is a recommended section, because that is going to be the language. So we hand that out as a recommended section, okay, and advise the applicants to follow through that, because it's actually gonna be easier for them. Instead of including everything, it's very specific. And in the meantime, we get it on for the town meeting in the spring, unless there's one sooner, to replace the language. And that way, everybody's been working with it for 6 months by then, and we're familiar with it. Because it's an easier process for the applicant where it doesn't include everything in the kitchen sink. It's very specific. So it'll be less
Well-
dollars for them too.
I'm all right with doing that, it's just, right now, I mean, it is a problem.
Well, we can't fix it till town meeting, but we can put out the recommended procedure, okay? It's not enforceable from a,
If you've been following the selectmen's meetings, Sam, the building inspector, has been going in front of them with what changes he wants to propose and get their blessing, and then he was going to advertise and write up things for the warrant article for the townspeople to vote. Let's let him handle that, but until then, let's abide by what's written in statute.
Well, we have to hold the hearings.
that's right, we gotta hold a hearing.
We
He
have
can
to
write
hold
it.
a hearing.
Yes,
He can write it, but we have to
We
hold it,
can't-
we have to give the
He
recommendation.
can
He can
recommend all he
petition
wants,
us.
but he has to bring it before us, that's
Yeah.
the problem, that's how
He
it
knows
works.
that, he knows
So
that.
you don't wanna give the Board of Selectmen a feeling, oh, anybody can do whatever they want. No, you have to follow, basically the Mass General laws. on that whole
He
thing.
wasn't trying to just get their blessing and do it, he wanted to just inform them. It's communication, that's all it was.
All right, so
And,
that
and
would be.
we're in agreement with him. We're
let's-
in agreement with him.
So
We,
let's do it
So
the
next
correct
time-
way and change it and adhere to it the way it is now.
That's the thing. You have what is it now and the recommended procedure, which will be the new procedure, okay? And everybody gets it and they start working off it, and as the applicants come in, because we may not have anybody anyway, okay? They'll just be looking at it, and it's very precise.
well, how do you want me to handle this with him? Do you want me to just have a conversation with him? You want me to put something in writing to him?
Have a conversation with them and hand them the new 108,
He has it.
okay? Show, and then make sure all the ZBA's got it and we have it.
Yeah,
And
he's,
we're the only
he's
board that
actually
does that.
talked to Jonathan Eichman as well, as I found out, and, he's okay with the new bylaw,
Okay,
quite frankly, so I mean,
that's
it's.
good, that's a huge
Yeah,
support.
it is, it's terrific, there's good news, there's bad news, there's good news.
We spent 4 years writing that.
Yeah, tell me about it.
We'll set up a hearing for the
Okay.
spring meeting.
So that's done. What else we got on the agenda? Okay.
We have a motion on the floor to adjourn, unless anybody has anything else.
Oh, second
Okay.
at 8:30.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
So Bob, you'll be
Watching.
around tomorrow?